Hello guys, this is Frosty and welcome to my channel. So Frosty is here to game with this new topic that I just whipped up. I was just thinking about this for the past few days, and it's a notion that I see that is mostly a problem in the West, and I understand why, because of the new movements that are coming in the last few decades. And I don't know, I just have an idea on some of these things, and I want to give my side of things, like how I understand it and how I see it and what I think is right. So one of the things that I need to mention is that you guys please like the video, subscribe and all that, so that my channel can actually get some exposure. I just need a few people to watch me so that I can interact, just for interaction. That's why I'm doing this. And then the other thing, I had my friends and family watch some of my videos, and they told me that I'm way too nice in these videos. Like, they were like, that's not me. Because people tell me, although I don't do that on purpose, they tell me that I'm quite firm and direct, so a lot of people take offense to what I say. But then in these videos they say that somehow it's like I'm putting on an act, so I'm gonna try to revert back. I don't know why when I start recording I act like this. But with all that said, let's get into the topic. So the topic is simple. When we talk about the differences between men and women, and the differences in how children are raised that lead to those differences in the future. So for example, if I'm raised a certain way, I'm going to be a certain way when I grow up. So that's the argument that's there right now. So before we get into it, you need to know that the videos that I'm going to show, I'm just going to show small clips. I'm not going to show the whole thing, just small clips. And one is from the, the British GQ, and the other one, you see it later on. It's just small parts. So at this point in time in the video, they were just told, like, this woman asked him a question, and his response and her reaction and response afterwards is quite telling to how people who have social agendas, like social SJW type things, don't really understand about human beings. They want to change human beings, but they don't want, and when the change doesn't work, they tend to blame it on other things. But then that's not the case. It's just that some things cannot be changed. But anyways, I'm going to give an example after we watch the video. So let's make this very quick and actually watch the thing.
Did you have different ambitions for your daughter and for your son?
Some of them were different. I encouraged my daughter in her desire to be a mother, which is not something I did with my son.
Did you encourage him in his desire to be a father?
Absolutely.
Right, so you encourage both of them to be a parent?
Right, but those are different.
Yeah,
I
believe.
and yeah, I mean, and in some sense, I think it's harder for young women because of...
All right, so he's getting into something else that we're going to actually talk about in the next one. So as you can see over there, there's a problem that these people don't understand. Men and women, in terms of basically the bare bones, like the core of what we are, we're basically different. We look at the world different. We participate in the world different. And until we get into a cyberpunk future where men can actually then have children without women and do things that would require women to be there and vice versa. If a woman needs to do something right now, she might need a man, and then if we get to a point where she doesn't, then fine, that's all right. But right now, these guys don't really understand that. So what he said was very clear. He raised his daughter by nurturing her desire of being a woman, and then he did something different with his son. He nurtured his desire into being a father. That's because a father is different roles to a mother. A mother is there to nurture, a father is there to lead the family so that the family is all right. So that difference already, these SJWs don't like that, because they don't want to give away their power. They think that it's weak, of which, when I see it as, when a woman gives away her self into submission to a man, that shows strength, because she has displayed that she has the know-how or the knowledge of understanding what a true leader is. And if she is choosing the right leader, then she has won, because that leader is going to lead her to the best life. Sure, there are moments where people can be tricked and then misled, but then that's the fault of the person who's tricking them, sure. But some of the fault also goes to the person who actually submitted to the wrong person, because you chose the person, so that's also partly your fault. But then that's the thing, if you are willing to submit as a woman, you have shown strength. They don't get that, because they just want to be at the top without actually doing the work, because a man inherently has to do more in order to lead a family, whereas a woman meets the man after he's done all that, and then does everything. So yeah, I'm now rambling way too far, but that's the basic gist of it. So now let's actually move on to the next video. So in this video, there's another interview, and let's just get into it so that you can actually see, like, because now we talked about how we're raising children. You raise a child in ways that are in the best interest of their femininity. If she's a girl, if he's a boy, you're raising them in the best interest of their masculinity, because a male should be masculine, a woman shouldn't be masculine. But then that doesn't mean that we don't have feminine sides to us as men or masculine sides to us as women. So I think this part can actually explain that a little bit, then we can discuss it very quickly before I give my closing item.
The biggest differences between men and women in the world in terms of temperament and interest are in Scandinavia, and they've maximized as a consequence of your egalitarian policies.
What do you mean by that?
It means that the more egalitarian your state, the bigger the personality differences between men and women. That's like...
All right, so for all you dumb guys out there, I'm just kidding. For all you dumb guys out there, he's basically just saying, if you socialize people to be the same, that leaves room for your biology to take place, where it actually then separates you more, because you're now maximizing the differences in biology. So, for example, if we try to force people to be like, do engineering, for example, a lot of women will realize that they are not actually interested in things, they're actually interested in something else, so they'll start dropping out. Imagine if we take 100 women and 100 men. You take 100 men, you force them to be nurses. There'll be construction guys in there, they don't care about people. They're going to be engineers, they don't care about people. They're going to be certain people that are going to quickly drop out, because those are the things that in their heads that they like. So they're going to drop out of that and move to the stuff that they actually want. Then if you take the women and then you force them to do engineering, construction, there are going to be things that they're not going to like there, because that's not what they are biologically in tuned to do. So then because now you force them, that becomes even more clear. But let's say it was all equal, you're not forcing anyone, just letting everyone go where they go. It's easier to see it as if men are pushing women out of engineering and women are pushing men out of engineering. Or in their case, they think that men are actually forcing women into nursing because they don't want to do it. That's not the case. It's just that women just want to do that, men just want to do that. But then they think that that's socializing because, well, and then in Scandinavia, as he said, they tried to encourage people to do the things that they were not doing previously. And then instead of that difference to shrink, it actually maximized. So yeah, let's just continue.
How do you measure that? How do you know that?
Oh, well, psychologists have perfected, at least to some degree, the measure of personality over the last 30 years with very advanced statistical models. And so what you do is you offer men and women well-validated tests of preference and of personality, and you do that all across the world with tens of thousands of people in multi-country samples, and then you look at the difference between men and women, and then you rank order that by wealth and egalitarian social policy. And what you find is, the more egalitarian the society, the more different the men and women become.
Is this something you can...
So he just said that perfectly right there. And I only stopped this to comment. That guy looks like he's learning something new. I can't decide. He said he's learning something new, or he's actually just putting on a face, but he doesn't like what's being said, because some of these guys are now woke, so you know how it is. And now let's listen to the lady, because the lady says something interesting. Although I don't agree with it, she said something interesting. So let's get into it.
Recognize, or is it?
I would say, for me, it's quite a simple question, actually. Do we want that our sons and daughters should have the same opportunities and the same dreams or hopes for the good thing, or no? And for me, it's simple to answer that. It's yes, of course. So for me, equality and gender equality is very, very important. For me, also when we talk about gender equality, it's important for me to learn my daughter that her mom can lead and show the way, and her dad can hug and kiss her and show feelings. And I think that's something very important for the hoods where kids grow up, to show feelings, to have these gender equality discussions, to show her a way of opportunities and to strive forward. And it's important both for lonely men and lonely young men, but also for women that feel this roof of glass. They need to fight and to struggle the roof of glass to be successful in their lives.
Do you agree?
All right, so we're going to end the reactions there. I'm not going to play anything else, but let's actually talk about what she said from the beginning, like in terms of the age of the subjects, which is the male and the female. The thing is, again, like I said previously, and what Jordan was saying, but in a more intelligent way, is men and women are different. So there is no way you can actually socialize that, because number one, you don't know how to do that, because the thing is, biology is not like like code. For example, if I make an application like WhatsApp or YouTube or whatever, I can go into that code and change a few things so that it does exactly what I want. People are not like that. You can't, because the thing is, yes, you can socialize a boy to be feminine, but that one time, that is masculinity, because his masculinity is actually going to win that fight, because that's where his biology is leaning towards. It's going to burst, it's going to explode. So that isn't going to work. And then when you then look at men, because now the thing is, she talked about a glass ceiling, which is the next thing I want to talk about. The thing is, now that we've established that there's a difference between men and women, a guy can never be as sensitive as at average, a guy can never be as sensitive as a woman. He can never be as emotional as a woman at average, which means that most men are not going to be like that, right? That doesn't mean that they don't have a feminine side. And then with the girls, they cannot at average, they cannot be as masculine as men, right? So when you say it like that, you need to understand the basic way of then saying that is just that men and women are different. Now, once we have achieved understanding men and women are different, the idea of the glass ceiling becomes a myth, as she said, because look at it like this. If let's say we were the same and people were actually holding you back, they put barriers that you're unable to see sometimes, and then you can't go through those barriers and you're left behind, then that basically creates a glass ceiling. But that's not the case. Let's look at a woman. Let's say this woman is 30, let's just say 70% traditional and 30% a bit of a modern woman, which means that she has a career, but she wants to have kids. The best time to have your kids is 19 to 25, all right? Which means that the moment that you're 26, 27, 28, you're getting into the danger zone. In China, they call you a leftover woman. A lot of men are not really attracted to that. They'll go for the 22-year-old, right? Especially where I'm from. Like where I'm from, guys in their 30s are marrying girls who are 22 and all that. Even the guys who are older. And our marriages here, at least from what I've seen, I would have to do more research. People get, like the guys marry when they're 27, 25, 28, 30. That's the range of them marrying, but mostly 26, 27. So he's not going to marry a 25-year-old. He's not going to do that. So the thing is, this woman would have to then find a way to balance it out, because a guy doesn't have to. It's not his fault, and it's not the girl's fault, because it's biology. I was born as a man. That's not my fault. I didn't ask to be a man. So if I get that advantage, if we're working together in this company, all right, when you work together in this company from the same level, for example, if you're working at a video game company and you start off with QA testing, for example, let's say they both have programming skills. So in order for him to get from the QA testing, which is quite low a bit, and then they get up to the actual designing, that takes time and a lot of work that you need to put in. But then if this girl or this woman ends up taking time off to have their first child, and all these things that women have to take time off, that's not the men's fault. Sure, we can find ways to make the work and the companies find a way to accommodate some of that. They talked about maternity leave, but maternity leave doesn't do anything. You're not going to be promoted as fast still. So that's the issue. It's better to look for solutions for that issue instead of saying men should go for paternity leave because they don't have a paternity. Well, why are they going on paternity leave? That. So then you putting solutions like that just basically shows that you don't understand, or you don't care that men and women are different, and you just want an outcome. And then by wanting an outcome, you're omitting the opportunity, because this man did nothing wrong. He didn't tell God to make him a man or to make you a woman, so it's not his fault. That's the problem. So the basic gist of things like this, especially when you're raising children, you need to understand that kids are different. Then to end off the video, I don't know how long this video is actually gone. 14 minutes, oh my gosh. All right, so to use the best example I can give you, let's say I work at a company that makes cars and planes, all right, and we've moved on into a future where you can actually create a car that's highly intelligent, that can drive, that can do all these things, it can drive itself, and you can also create a plane that can fly itself, right? So what they're trying to do is similar to this. If I'm at this company and I'm like, well, I want a car to act more like a plane and I want a plane to act more like a car, what's going to happen is the way I built a car is never going to fly, no matter how much code I put into that car for it to fly. If it does not have thrusters, wings, all that stuff, it's not going to fly, which means that if that car is going to have code for flying, you won't be able to fly. It's a car, all right? Then if you look at the plane side, the plane will never be able to actually drive in the streets because of its wings. If you clip its wings, it's no longer a plane. You get it? So that's what we mean when we say men and women are different, whether in dating, in socializing, in work, all these things. Women are different. That's why in America especially, the rules are not clearly defined in workplaces in the topic of men and women interactions. That's why a lot of managers are bailing. They're like, I'm not going to teach. There are no rules. I don't have rules to fall back on. For example, if I say you look nice today, I can be accused. That's how they feel out there. So I think maybe we need to understand that men and women are different. Once that understanding is established, the social scientists and the social justice warriors might actually start doing a lot of advocating for changes that mean something. You can't force a man to do the things that you just want them to do just because you want an outcome. The outcome for an outcome to be there has to be work. So that's Frosty and I'm done. Please make sure you subscribe, you guys, and the next discussion video is where my personality might actually shine, because my friends were telling me that I have a problem of filtering myself when I talk in these videos. I'm going to try to fix that. But anyways, this was an interesting topic, very nice to talk about. Yeah, I'm going to be ending it right now. Have a good day.